So I've been thinking about talking about this for at least a little bit. It's something I'm not quite sure if I've mentioned in video, but I know I've definitely mentioned it to people in real life. Not that that matters to any of you watching this, but either way, we're going to be talking about what I think Blue Lock's biggest flaw is. Maybe not flaw, maybe that's a bit of an overstatement. The title might be a bit hyperbolic, but either way, it gets the point across. And that is the repetitiveness of a very certain aspect of its story. And that is Isagi's rivals and their skill sets and how they're used to cause him to develop. Now, yes, the nuances and the details of the situation surrounding these rivals both vary in length, and also, you know, there are differences. For example, like I said, the details and nuances. But still, there's a certain aspect of how basically every major obstacle and trigger for Isagi's development is the same in essence. It's someone who has the exact same skill set as him, but is better, and he has to overcome them to become a better player. Now, yes, becoming better than people that are similar to you in skill set, yes, that makes sense. You would become better by doing that. But in terms of a storytelling setting, it feels repetitive. Like, so we take Nico, when the first case, where Isagi learns, you know, that his real weapon, his skill set, is to, you know, it's a spatial awareness. If you couldn't tell, this video isn't scripted. I'm literally just going to ramble on and hope I get my point across, right? And he learns through Nico that the way he sees the field, the way he perceives the game, that's his weapon, okay? And Nico's is also incredibly short. It's literally just one game. It's also the first game that his team, during the first election, win. And it's due to Isagi's development that becomes possible. Then we move on to the second selection, where we're introduced to Itoshi Rin, who has the exact same skill set as Isagi, only is exponentially better than he is. And that is the major cause for Isagi's growth. Yes, you could argue that him losing Bachira is what forces him to develop and be able to play better on his own, much like Rin does. But again, it's still, because of Rin, a goal of someone with the exact same skill set but better than him. And then, you know, whether you could argue whether or not he actually does beat Rin. I'd say they're about even at the end of the under-20s match. But I'll get onto that a little bit later for how I think the story might end up going. But anyway, then we get into the third selection, okay? And obviously Isagi joins the Germany team, and he meets Kaiser, who has the exact same skill set as he does, but is better, both physically and in terms of the skill set. The exact same situation as with Rin. It's repetitive. Yes, obviously the situation involving Kaiser and the team is different, but obviously, you know, Kaiser has metavision. He's also physically better than Isagi, at least at the time when Isagi joins. He probably still is. And so Isagi has to learn metavision and use Kaiser as an example of how to improve and then surpass Kaiser. It's just repetitive. I really like Blue Lock, but I think my only real gripe, it's not even a major one, is the fact that it does reuse this story beat with every major arc. It's just a bit meh, if I'm being honest. But I'm not saying that it's bad, like the story's bad. It's just I slightly dislike the, you know, repeated use of the same methods to force Isagi to improve, or, you know, enable Isagi's development. And as for how I think this will probably go, well, with the match against Barrow and, you know, the Italy team on the horizon, the chapter for that's probably already out by the time you're seeing this, and hopefully I'll be voice acting it for a video tomorrow from when you're seeing this, if you're watching it on the day it goes up, which should be a Wednesday. The way I think it'll go, Isagi will prove himself as a striker by, you know, surpassing Kaiser, defeating Barrow's team. And then the next match that Isagi will have to do is going to be against Rin. Again, only now Rin will have improved even more than he already had, and Rin will be, you know, become the centerpiece rival for Isagi once again, like he was during the second selection. Isagi will have to, You know, they'll play against him, and I actually expect that when they play against Rin's team, the Germany team, Bayern will lose, and that would be like oh damn, Rin's still better than Isagi even after all this. And then there'll be a training montage, and there'll be a rematch, and then Isagi will finally surpass Rin truly and become the best player in Blue Lock or whatever. But right now, I mean, that's how I see it going. There might be some deviation, like maybe they'll lose to Barrow, and then that'll be a huge turning point that will enable Isagi to overpower Rin because of his loss, and, you know, it'll do something like that. Those are the two ways I see it going. I think the first one's probably more likely, but again, I'm not saying that Blue Lock's story is bad. I'm just poking criticism at the repetitive nature of the story and, you know, one particular aspect of it. I do dislike it a little bit. Not enough to put me off the series, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be, you know, voice acting the chapters every week, as I have been for what feels like a while now. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if you agree or disagree with what I said. If you disagree, why and what you think the weakest part of Blue Lock is in the comments. I've probably said it in the comments twice, but whatever. Like, sub, do whatever. And with all that said, I've been Animosity, you've been you, and I hope to catch you next time for another video. Ta-ta. Bye now.